Hello, I'm Charlie and this is Savannah and this is Zara, and we are three members of Basket Case Productions. I am the main talent of our film.
I'm camera woman and co-director.
I'm director and co-editor.
And today we're going to talk about our film and we're going to analyse it and evaluate it as a whole.
So first off, what we think went well in our thriller. Shall I go first?
Yeah.
So I think the music, when we edited it, well, Georgina edited it, when the doors slam shut, the music finishes. I think that looks professional, and I think you'd see that in like a actual film. I like how we combined the action and thriller, so it was like a subgenre. I quite like that.
I think it went well. Our main thing was that a few of our antagonists, they were kept hidden and added to like the hysteria of the whole film as a whole.
Suspense.
Yeah, and suspense as well, along with the music. So all the chase scenes, we wasn't sure. It was quite mysterious as we wasn't sure if these people were actually chasing the protagonist or the hero, or if they were just a figment of his imagination and he was just scared due to his actions and the lifestyle he has taken.
I think what went well is everybody had their own individual role to play, which was very good, and I liked the fact that we kept our roles in our group, so that helped. And I also liked the end shot in the garage. I think that looked very professional.
Yeah, and I think that added to conventions of a thriller very well, because the fact it was dark, there's a single light in the room, which it's like an eerie sense to it. There wasn't a lot of lighting apart from that singular light, and it just seemed the garage wasn't very well kept, and it just seemed like a quite strange and like scary place to film. Is really effective.
I also think one of the shots when the knife gets dragged across, I think that's good because you can hear it as well. I just really like that shot. What we would do differently, I think if I was to do it any differently, I'd make all the shots quite a lot shorter, because some of them are quite long and can be quite draining to watch and drag a bit.
Well, I think one thing I would have changed completely was there was a bit too much running, and it was just a bit like there wasn't a lot going on, and it seemed like it was just a bit repetitive. I think, and another thing was like we tried to like break the thriller convention. We were trying not to be typical of a thriller by using the music, which we thought wouldn't stick to a typical thriller, because it wasn't like eerie music. It was just like upbeat music, which we were trying to like convey teenage life as the main character as a teenager, but this didn't work as well as we thought it would be, and it kind of backfired as it kind of
makes it feel more like an action.
Yeah, a bit too like actiony, and a bit. It really, because we were trying not to stick to a conventional thriller, we kind of didn't stick enough to it until the music actually stopped, and that's when I think the best filming was done, to be honest.
What I would do differently is probably spend less time filming the actual production, spend probably more time in the editing process. Just going back to what they said about the shots, I'll probably make them a lot shorter than what they were to add suspense into it and to add for dramatic effect.
I believe make it more complex as well. Like
Yeah.
our editing was quite simple.
Basic.
Yeah, it was simple, and we'd obviously get more marks, and the film would look better as a whole if we used more complex shots and added more stuff during editing.
I think that was what gives it away, is not being like a very high quality film.
The complexity of the shots probably would have worked.
So the problems we encountered, well, when we were filming, it was like February when the major flooding was happening in England. So we couldn't really film on certain days we wanted to film, so we had to like postpone it. Then there was illness, and Savannah went on holiday for a nice week, so we couldn't do anything then. So that kind of cut down filming.
Yeah, and a major problem. Yeah, that was a major problem, and
Just the rain, wasn't it?
Yeah, the rain. It was obviously the weather couldn't just change like that.
Yeah.
Filming. So maybe next time we should think about it more and just think about we should get one shot done, the first shot done, and then like keep it continuous. Like do the first shot and the second shot, the first shot. So it doesn't really matter if the weather changes.
Order.
Yeah,
Yeah,
keep it chronological. Otherwise, it's just a bit messy.
Yeah.
And also, because we took so long to film due to a major loads of problems, I started to change. Obviously, my hair got bit longer.
Continuity error.
We tried to stop as much as we could,
Yeah.
and I tried to keep it the same style, which I don't think is too noticeable in our film, luckily. But that could obviously be a major problem. If the cameras are better, you'll be able to notice stuff like that a lot. Yeah, it would stand out a lot more. So.
I also think one of the problems was when it came to editing, that the editing suite was absolutely packed. Everyone wanted to get their editing done in that 1 week.
Yeah, so maybe we should get filming done quick as we can, so we're not caught up. So we're not caught up with everyone else. Everyone else is trying to get it done quick as you can at the same time we were, trying to reach our deadline, which obviously it just didn't really turn out well, to be honest. But we got it done eventually, and we actually did get it in on the deadline quite luckily. So.
That was quite lucky for us.
How does our thriller convey typical conventions?
I would say the garage scene does a lot. I think the whole conspicuousy of it all conveys the conventions quite well as well.
I think the knife, that like how it was like a phallic kind of
object.
Yeah, I think that was typical. Like you see that in a lot of thrillers, like men stabbing other people.
But the fact that a woman was doing it kind of didn't stick to it, but we thought it actually played really well because
we wanted to play on her sexuality.
Yeah, we wanted to play on sexuality and like power for this woman, but and it was never clear who was actually chasing the protagonist. So it could have been a woman, it could have been a man. We don't know. So it kind of was like it hopefully play with the audience and they would kind of feel. They think of it a bit strange, the fact that we were doing it. So.
Also the fact of the location, it was in a rural and suburban area and most of it was filmed in a house, so the audience would feel if it could happen in a rural suburban house that it could happen to them anywhere that they are.
Also it's quite, because we filmed during the day, a lot of people at work, at school and so on, so it was quite isolated wherever we filmed, so there wasn't a lot of people around apart from the opening scene, which we thought even played better.
Yeah.
Because it was like, it made it more realistic. The fact that there was people in the shop which didn't even know we were filming, they were like, there was just people waiting for a train.
That's kind of creepy, isn't it?
Yeah.
but the rest of it was quite isolated, so it was really weird.
I think that helped because it made the audience feel isolated while watching it. But yeah. So how does Supply present a particular social group?
I think that within Supply, our main group that we're trying to portray is young teenagers and the issues that we face in everyday life.
But obviously making it more drastic than it usually would be, obviously. But
with drugs and violence.
And I think the music did portray teenage life as well. Again, like I said earlier, and that kind of like that's obviously we were aiming for a teenage audience, and we thought it portrayed a teenage life quite well, and the fact that the way the protagonist was dressed as well was quite generic. I'd say, wearing a hoodie and trainers and so on. So yeah, I thought that really did well.
Although we did try to, make it atypical in the sense that we used femme fatale as our main villain, as we said earlier that we wanted to play on her sexuality, in which we did. I think we did that quite well.
And we displayed her as being quite older. The fact the way she was dressed, and she was dressed as if she was older than the main protagonist. So it kind of represents like the power that your elders would have, like.
And let alone a woman, because women in thriller films or even in any genre of film, they're seen as quite weak and innocent, and they're normally the ones that are in a bit of a predicament, and they're the ones that need the help. So I think by reversing the roles, it kind of adds to the effect.
I do think it's a stereotype of a countertype though, like a woman, like we sexualized me. But like, so it was kind of like if you were going to try and countertype something, that was going to be the countertype. What kind of media institute would distribute Supply?
At the beginning of our film, as you probably could see, that we found New Line Cinemas who credit themselves on distributing high production thriller films. That's basically the reason why we chose to use them as our distributors.
And I suppose institutions like such as like Channel 4 would do it because it's like they're quite popular amongst teenagers and depicting teenage life such as like
It's a teen
Skins.
thriller.
Yeah, it's like if it is a teen
Supply
thriller.
is a teen thriller.
Yeah, it kind of like it plays on that, and so and obviously Channel 4 they're quite popular and they're quite successful at
That's their
portraying
main
teenage
values,
life.
to entertain the audience.
And try and like reach out to groups that maybe like BBC don't reach out to. They're not really a big teen kind of channel, like an independent
Yeah.
one. Probably takes.
But I think if there was one institution that would distribute off thriller, I think it would be something such as Channel 4, perhaps Film 4, like
Yeah.
the Channel 4
Yeah.
company as a whole. I think
Yeah.
that's what would be most popular around. I think.
Okay then, well that's us done.
Thank
Thanks for
Thank
watching.
you.